How you doing? This is Jim Fisher on the Third Way, not left, not right, but America's Third Way. And today I wanted to talk about the question of taxing corporations. We keep on hearing these catchphrases from mostly liberals on the left saying, the secretary pays a higher tax rate than, her boss that owns the company. And corporations just are not paying their fair share of taxes, and thus we need to get corporations to pay their fair share. So I'm not talking to you from a left perspective or right perspective. I'm talking to you from an economic perspective, and I'm going to explain the facts of the situation. So the answer to the question is, can we tax corporations more and make them pay their fair share? The answer is no. There is no such thing as a tax on corporations. I want to explain quickly how the free market works with corporations and businesses in general. Most businesses make between 5 to 7% profit on their business, and in a free market, if a particular business attracts more profit than that, has the ability to make more than 5 to 7%, what ends up happening is it attracts more competition. So let's just say, for instance, randomly pick Goodyear Tire Company. They, for whatever reason, start making 10-20% profit on their tires. They're making crazy profit. What happens is the entrepreneur sees this, and it attracts competition to his industry. Somebody says, look, there's more demand for tires than there is supply, so the price is very high. Now that I know there's more demand and supply, I'm going to get in on this, and I'm going to get into the tire business. So then you have Bridgestone enters the picture, and now you have higher competition, you have higher supply of tires, and you have the same amount of demand, the same amount of people are buying tires. So what ends up happening is the profit ratio goes down for the original company and for the newer company. This will continue to happen until you hit that 5 to 7% margin. That is kind of the typical industry standard for a profit ratio. It's not that companies don't want to make more. They would love to make more. It's just that when they do make more, they attract more competition. That's how the free market works, and that's why we pay such low prices for things like TVs and radios and all the things that are so cheap for us, is because once a company figures out how to make a lot of money on it, they attract competition. So that being said, if you accept that as an economic fact, it is an economic fact that a company can only make that particular percentage of profit without attracting more competition, and if he makes more, he'll attract more competition. If he makes less, typically he'll go out of business. So if you accept that as an economic fact, then you have to accept the fact that there's no such thing as a tax on corporations. So if a corporation is making that 5 to 7% profit ratio, and you tax them, that tax has to get passed on to their consumers. So let's say, for instance, if you decide Coca-Cola is just not paying their fair share and we're going to tax them, what does Coca-Cola have to do? They either have to go out of business because they're not going to maintain that 5 to 7% profit ratio, or they're going to pass that increased cost onto their consumer. So the price of a can of Coke goes from 75 cents to 80 cents, or whatever percentage we decided we need to tax these evil corporations. So when you tax a corporation, you're not taxing the corporation. You're taxing the consumers of whatever that product that corporation makes. That's just an economic fact. It's not left, it's not right, it's not me advocating big business. I really don't care. It's just an economic fact. You cannot tax a corporation. So you hear this fallacy of Obama saying we need to get corporations to do their fair share. The evil, jet owners are paying less taxes than their secretary. That's not true. his personal income tax is much, much higher than his secretary's. His corporation's tax may be lower percentage, but you're talking about two separate entities. A personal income tax and a corporate tax are two separate things. And no, the corporate janitors are not paying less tax than the secretary. That's a fallacy when you hear that. They're paying a much higher rate. So, this is important for us to understand, so we're not demonizing the very people that are capable of providing wealth to the rest of us and providing jobs to the rest of us. What I'm telling you is just obvious economics 101. Obama's taken it. All these politicians have taken it. These economics classes in college. They understand this, yet they continue to spout this rhetoric off. And so what they're actually saying by saying we need to tax these corporations and get them to pay their fair share is we need to tax you. There is no such thing as a corporate tax. So they're actually saying we need you to pay more to do your fair share. They try to make it sound like they're assigning it to a corporation because, hey, wouldn't we all just love to have the corporations lift us out of this debt? But that's just a fallacy. So, what you do with that information, that's not for me to decide. But you need to have that information. You need to understand that so you can understand when you're being lied to. That's, I guess that's it for now. Jim Fisher signing off. This is the third way, not left, not right, but the third way.